to Positively Lost. I'm Cammie.
I'm Taylor.
And we are excited about this week. It's been a good week.
It has been a good week, and it's Halloween 2 days from now. I keep thinking it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Anywho, it's been a good week, and I'm excited for next week. And I'm super tired, and my eyeballs hurt. Like, I feel like they're going to just pop out of my head right now. And because I just haven't slept good in, like, forever.
What makes you think you're going to sleep good this week?
Well, I'm going to take a nap after you go.
I'm going to go home and take a nap. No, I can't. I have to help kids carve pumpkins.
So that's a positive. I'm just, like, excessively tired all the time. And I don't do things.
No, they all
so that's
quit
the
their
point
stuff.
of this, though, is I want to be more outgoing like I used to be, even though I was always socially awkward and had problems. But I want to get out there and do stuff. So, like, this year, Mike took all of December off. So, yeah, I know, right? He has so much time saved up. And I figure, like, maybe then we can just, like...
do a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
I am so awkward. Sorry, your awkward interactions made me...
Mike, you just said I'm awkward right now?
No, you saying you have awkward interactions. You want to talk about awkward. One time when I worked for a dentist office, I had a girl that I hadn't seen since junior high come in. She was on her second marriage. She is now on her third. But, like, at the time, she was on her second marriage. And she came in.
I hope she never listens to that just to hear you say this.
She won't. She doesn't know love hair anymore. So she came in just to have a consultation, and then I didn't know what to say. I hadn't seen her since junior high, but we knew each other, and it was just weird because we're just like, hey, you. And then my first question was like, so how's your marriage going?
Yeah,
not
that's
like
just terrible social skills.
not like so, you know, how's the wedding? Like, are you anything that's, like, normal? It was just like...
This is how terrible anxiety is, though.
I know. I don't know how to interact with people, and I feel like there can't be gaps or anything, so then I don't know what to say, so then I just say the most awkward and stupid things, and...
I don't know. Sometimes, like, I don't... Just to be funny, or, like, because I don't know, I'm just weird. I just say things like, I feel like other people say to people to be ribbing with them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Joking, jesting. I say terrible things. Like, one of Tyler's friends one time, I was like, so how does it feel to always have Tyler steal your girlfriends? That's how terribly stupid I am.
I know exactly who you said that to, too.
I know. But, like, that was, like, so mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was just being funny at the time, but now I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Well, then after we say it, like, we think about it, and we think about it, and we think about it, and even, like 15, 20 years later, we still think about it, because we're like, I can't believe I said that 20 years ago.
That was, like, 20 years ago, too, and I still think about it. But... yeah, we're super awkward and have a lot of issues and problems because of it. But anyways.
That's why we're just friends with each other.
That's true. Well,
no, we have other friends, but we'll get to that later. Did you do the goal this week?
I did.
Like all week, though?
You never do the goal, Taylor.
Okay, but did you do it
That's
all
why
week?
you picked the goal you picked for this week, huh? Because you're like, what do I automatically do that I don't have to exert myself for?
Well, I need you to text to remind me.
It's not my job.
To remember.
I'm not your babysitter. You're asking me to do something that I suck at to begin with, which is remembering to do anything.
Oh. So you did the goal this week.
I did, but only Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Friday I didn't, like, technically sit down and just stretch, but I was finishing up my trunk or treat, and my trunk for trunk or treat, so I was just already stretching.
As you can tell by my face and what I've said,
we already
discussed
this.
Do this.
You did not do anything. You didn't do the week before either.
I'm a failure
Well,
at life.
The old Cammie wants to tell you yes. But the new Cammie wants to say, no, Taylor, you're doing great. Good for you.
I don't believe you.
Because the old Cammie's fighting with the new Cammie.
You guys are having a fight in your mind.
It's an internal
do you have like
fight.
the angel and the devil on your shoulder? Like, tell her she's amazing. Tell her
always
she's
do.
terrible.
I always do, because when I thought about this, I'm like, we're trying to be positive, happy people, and I'm like, but inside, we're really pessimistic, shriveled old ladies.
I just always want to say really mean things to people.
I don't think
But
we're
I've
Karens, because our anxiety doesn't allow us to be Karens.
Well, no,
But
customer
we're old
service
ladies.
wise,
We're Roseanne Barrs.
Yeah, customer service wise, I'm not mean to people because I've worked there. So like, I want to be as nice as possible. Plus, they're more willing to help you when you're nice.
This is true.
But when it comes to like people that are like kind of my friends, like my acquaintances and my friends, I think I do have friends outside of our family.
I didn't say you didn't. You said that.
Well, I do have friends.
Just like you're like, you're awkward, Cammie.
I didn't say you're awkward. I said I'm awkward. You're the one who said you're awkward. And I said based on your saying your awkward situations.
Oh. I don't remember what I was getting at. Never
Okay.
mind, just ignore me.
So, well, now I forgot what
What made you happy this week, Taylor? What made you happy?
Oh,
What put
I
a
was gonna
smile
say.
on your face?
I was gonna say I'm really. Like when for my friends are talking, I sometimes want to say really mean things, but I don't. So I'm proud of myself. Okay, what made me really really happy this week?
Now every time everyone's gonna look at you, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, she's thinking in her head about how not to be mean." That's crazy. That in your head you're thinking about how
Not all the time. Just some things when I'm wanting to make fun of people, and I just want to be like, really, really. It's actually only like a couple people though, and most of them aren't my friends. Actually, it's people that aren't my friends that like I have to talk to them. Anyways, okay. What made me really happy this week? This is gonna be a repetitive thing, but again,
your husband like sent you flowers and like
No.
lashed the bed with roses and
no, I personally don't care about that stuff.
Isn't that your thing last week?
No, he sent me a sweet text message.
Oh, okay.
Saying that I'm an amazing wife and mother. No, but this week, like, I just have a really hard day every day at work. And, like, I go home crying basically every day. And
I know we talk about it every week.
I know.
Every day we talk about it.
I know. And so on, like, Thursday, I just, like, went straight into bed because we didn't have any kids or anything. And I was just tired and exhausted. And I had just finished crying. And so I crawled into bed. And he's like, I'm going to go make dinner. Don't get out of bed. I'm going to bring it to you. And then we can watch your favorite show. And then he brought me dessert. And, like, he just let me stay in bed. And it was super sweet.
That is really sweet.
You know.
I kind of blinked out and didn't listen to all of it. But I got the gist of it. You said it was the same as last week.
Well, it's not the same. But he just was very sweet.
I feel like
meant
we just
more
have
so
to have
than
Colin
my
on so we
husband.
can be like, good job, Colin. Way to be there for her.
He's so amazing. He is always
Oh,
there
what
for
was
me.
bad? I mean, you kind of did your bad with your good in there, but was there something really specific?
No, just the typical. No need to go on about that. It's the same old, same old. Okay, what was your good?
I just think it was trunk or treat. It was really fun. And the bad was set up for trunk or treat.
How much work went into it?
Well, it wasn't the work like involved. Like I really didn't mind that. It just was that Mike set up the ship without me. But it ended up being fine at the same time. But
I would love that. I'd be like, you do that. Thank you.
well, it's not that. I just knew what was going to work for it, and he set it up anyways without me. After seriously, like, days on end, I told him, I said, don't do it this way. Don't do it this way. I kept saying, don't set it up. I'm like, I know how it needs to be in my mind so it works, so it stands up. It doesn't matter, though. In the end, it worked out great, and it was amazing. But I wish I
really
had
good.
a black light. I needed a black light for it. And my bad, I don't know. Mom told me, though, today that she started listening to the podcast. And then she was like, oh, your dad would be so proud of you. And I was like, why you gotta do that to me?
It's almost 3 years.
But then I had to remember, I'm like, did we say anything that's incriminating towards our family in the last few weeks?
I feel like we only say good things about our family.
Yeah, maybe.
We have an amazing family.
We're just an out there family. So it's like,
I used to think that we were, but the more I see other families, I'm like, you know what? We were a pretty sane family.
we're like, and I don't know. We are weird. I talk to people all the time, and they're like, you guys are kind of weird. We
But
do have
funny.
weird tendencies as a family, as a whole, and we all do that.
I guess our brother-in-law, David, likes to point out all the things that's a little weird thing. That's a little weird thing.
He hasn't done that in a long time. I think he appreciates those little spare things.
I think he's always appreciated it. I think he loves us and just doesn't want to admit it.
I feel like he's admitted it
He
plenty
has
of
admitted it.
times.
But he hasn't admitted he likes our quirks.
Quirks. Really, that took you a very
Quirks.
long time to say quirks. Oh my gosh, Taylor. So I listened to your editing. It was really good. I was really
very
proud of
scary.
you. But then you edited out RARMs. And I was really sad. I didn't know that RARMs was actually a thing. I thought I was just being so...
I have no wrist.
Okay. But we talked about that last week. You edited it out. And then I hashtagged RARMs on Instagram, and I learned that RARMs is actually a thing. I thought I was genius just putting together cankles to RARMs
You're
and
not.
equating the similarities. But I wasn't. RARMs has been a thing. RARMs is equal to cankles. Anyway, so I guess that was kind of a good segue. You know, we're talking about friends today.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about our counselor and psychologists and stuff that we met. And that's the thing. So we were raised in a big family, and a lot of our dynamics are very different because we focused so much on our family and our family unit. And, you know, we've kind of touched about this, how when we were little, we would be a little crazy because, you know, there were so many of us. There were 7 of us. And so our parents would always say, be nice to your siblings because, you know, they're more
gonna
important
be your
than
best friends
friends
one
and
day.
things like that. Which in our case is true, but at the same time, I feel like it was a little bit of a hindrance. I do feel like friendships outside of your family are very important. I even feel like our parents had like solid friendships outside of our family. But I feel like it made our brains not think to develop positive friendships when we were younger.
Well, and now we just think how we talk to each other is how you should talk to everyone, which isn't true. So it has made friendships. Well, and then we overanalyze everything we say, like I said earlier. So.
Oh, I didn't do my definition for it. So our friend, so the definition of friend is a person who one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. And that's the aspect of friend.
I'm like a 2-year-old when I hear sexual. I'm like,
yeah, you're basically your psychology major, and that's the way you're acting to that. How you could be a high school psychology teacher is beyond me. I'm like really itchy.
Oh, when my students say doo-doo, I start laughing.
Taylor. Anywho. But yeah, so that me being argumentative, I want to argue about the whole sexual or family relations because that's the best type of relationship to have with your significant other as a friendship.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
And obviously sexual relations are involved, Taylor.
I never.
Anywho, so yeah. But yeah.
I do think that your spouse can be your best friend, though.
And so with anxiety and all that stuff and everything, we typically stay away from friendships. We don't want to be with friends, or we're looking for reasons to cancel. And I keep thinking about that song you played. You have to do that and recommend that song for everyone to listen to because it's hilarious.
It's Anxiety by Julia Michaels featuring Selena Gomez. It basically talks about how friends don't understand anxiety. And okay, perfect example. So last week I was at my school's fall carnival, and I was talking to one of my coworkers and saying how I don't, she's like, she lives in the same neighborhood as me, and she was like talking to me about the neighborhood. She's like, in the back of the neighborhood it has this, and then this is here, and this, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, how do you not know, like, you live in this neighborhood? I'm like, I go from my house to school back to my house. I'm like, that's it. So I don't know anywhere in the, like, anything in the neighborhood. And she's like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, yeah, I don't go anywhere because I like the comfort of my home. And then the PSO president and some of the PSO people were like walking by, and they were talking about how they're gonna like do something for fun. I'm like, oh, I want to go do that because I mean they're amazing and I love them. And she was like, wait a second, but I thought you don't do anything. And I thought about that, and I'm like, oh, here's the thing. I don't want to do it, but I want to be invited to do it. So I want the invite, but I'm going to figure out a way to get out of it.
See, when people do that, I don't want to invite them, but like, I don't know. I'm the same way. I like the comfort of my home. I don't like to go places, but at the same time, I want to go places and I want to go do things.
In my head, I'm like, oh, I'm so going to do this. I'm going to do it. And then when it comes to the day of, I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? What if there's awkward silences? Like, I'm tired. I want to sleep. I just want to do this. I just want to do that. Like, I just want to watch true crime. Like, and
because we don't have good time management, and
yeah,
time goes really fast for us most of the time. So whereas people can get so many things done in a normal 16-hour day, for us, our day is constricted to 8 to 10 hours a day because for the other 6 or so hours in the day, our brain is foggy.
Well, and on top of that, when we have something planned for later in the day, we're basically spending that whole day thinking about how we have that at night. So, like, we can't just, like, prioritize the fact that, okay, I can get this, and this done before I even have to start getting ready for this. I just think about, when do I have to start getting ready for this? And I'm basically spending the whole day thinking about this
That's
event.
True. I never thought about it just like that.
Yeah, and so it's like basically my whole day is wasted, which I know is my fault, but my whole day is wasted because I'm just thinking about this thing at the end of the day, and I can't focus on anything else.
Or you're thinking about, well, if I have to do A, B, and C within the next week, when do I sleep?
Yes.
My days are focused on how do I get to sleep, because then I'm so focused on all these things I need to do, and then I can't fall asleep, but then I'm so tired. So my whole entire day and everything is that. Okay, so I do think, though, that having friends is very important. And I think what made me happy, and it was true, when our therapist had said I needed friends, and I started making friends, I realized that social unit was really important to my mental health, and it changed who I was as a person a little bit. I still have the inner old lady inside of me, but it made me feel better about stuff, and it was nice to have people to talk to. And now sometimes I'm like, but it's still, though I have a lot of like acquaintances who, I'd still call friend or things like that, they're not like my really good friends and groups that I can go hang out with all the time, or like when I'm around like you or Tara or Kaylee, or Liz or Christy, like I don't stress about what I'm saying or what I do, but other people I'm like, oh, they probably hate me now, or oh, they hate this now, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so they're like my acquaintances. But these new friends that I made, like, I'm really close to, but all of us are anxiety ridden or have a lot of things going on. And I love that, for one, because we don't expect each other to go out and do things all the time. But I don't like it at times because we don't get together, and sometimes I really need people to get together with.
Yeah.
And do stuff.
That's how it is with Sarah, too. Like, I don't think about what I'm saying because we're both anxiety ridden, so we understand our squirrel moments, we understand interruptions, we understand talking over each other, we understand all that because we're both the same way.
Yeah.
Which it's nice to have friends that you can just be yourself with and not have to think about it. Like when we've talked about in the past how I get so anxiety ridden just talking on the phone, but I will say when it's like a family member or Sarah, like I do not get anxious about talking on the phone because I know that there's lots to talk about. So
I even get a little nervous sometimes with our family, like, you know, I feel like they accept me, but I still feel bad, if like really bad, and worry like if I hurt or offend anyone or things like that. Or I worry, my big thing, and this is why this is funny, I worry about being too pessimistic.
I do think about that. In fact,
I'm like, oh, they aren't going to want to hang out with me because no matter how hard I try to be like the whole entire time and like outrageous smiles, sometimes I'm like, I start talking about things and it feels like my anxiety makes me a huge Debbie Downer and I project a lot of negativity. And then I worry that like then I'm upsetting people or they're like, ugh, well, she's like, too much of a downer to be
in
around.
My head, I think, I'm like, I'm such a downer. But then I think, but I'm funny about it. So it's okay because I make jokes out of it. But I mean, honestly, I guess even if you're around someone who's a downer, even if they do try and make a joke out of it, it's not always funny. So that is true.
And it's one of those things like you can only have so much negativity and then you're like, oh, this is not very fun or enjoyable.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, is it that it's that, or do people just notice my weirdness when I talk to them? That I think about weird things, that I project weird things. And it's not like the weirdness like, I like Halloween and I like to be scary and a goth. It's just because I'm just genuinely weird and awkward.
I know, so many people think we're drunk. Like when we're at a wedding or something and there's alcohol and we just get on the dance floor and we're wild and they're like, oh, are you drunk? Like, did you have alcohol? I didn't have a drop. I'm just fun.
I have no self-control. And, like, if you get me on a dance floor, I will go nuts and everybody's just staring at me like I'm a weird, wild person. And then when it's done, I'll have anxiety for the next 2 days about how I just embarrassed myself.
I do that, too.
And then I'm like, next time I won't be like that. And I'm so going to be like that next time. There's no changing that.
We should just start lying and be like, oh, I had so much alcohol.
And people will expect it then or accept it. But that's not true because even when other people are on the dance floor and they're doing their cool little, dance moves and things like that. And everybody like is okay with that. But then I feel like when I get out there, I just put that extra bunch of weirdness and craziness to it. And people are like, oh, what's wrong with her?
I think people love it for you. Like, they are always like, man, she's fun.
Or maybe they just say that to make us not feel bad. To make me not feel bad.
I'm like, they don't say it to me. I must not be fun. I just hang on your coattails. Like, yeah, Cami, make me awesome.
I just like your little coattails. I just can't help myself. I'm that big, loud, boisterous lady who's like, I gotta be crazy.
My students tell me all the time, they're like, oh, Mrs. Merrill, stop being so loud. I'm like, I can't help it. I just have a loud voice.
I know. I'm so loud. Yeah. It's terrible. But yeah. I love having friends, though, and I'm so thankful that she suggested that. I created that ladies group. I love having a community. That's what I like about my neighborhood, though, is because I do like having a community. I like that even though I'm not, like, bosom buddies and hanging out with all these people, I like that these people know who I am, I know who they are, and they know my kids and all that stuff. Because I feel like, it took me a while to figure that out. Forming that community was important. It can still be there. And so I like it and even having my kids spread out so much, I know people who are older and I know people who are younger. So it widens my circumference of knowing people.
I like it.
The circumferency of it.
Okay. Do you want to talk about our goal for this week? One that I can actually accomplish?
Yeah, that was such a... I was like, yeah, that's a good goal. And then I'm like, wait, we do this normally. But I think it's good. You know why? Because it's the month of thanks.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good goal, is like thankful type goals and doing stuff like that.
So our goal for this week is to praise someone at least once a day. Praise at least one person a day.
But it should be more.
Cause it should be more. To like show you're thankful for something, or to tell them how good they're doing at something, or something like that. But at least one person a day, at least, but hopefully more, praise someone for something they're doing.
Yeah. Tell them they're amazing.
They're rainbows and sunshine.
You're amazing. Sprinkle glitter in their eye. That would hurt them, though.
That would hurt so bad.
All right. Okay.
So that is our goal for this week. I will do it.
I know, but I feel like we need a harder goal. You have to do that on top of stretching for the week every day.
Okay, I will try that. I'll try it.
Try that.
I will try it.
Okay. I feel like you just have to have an extra thing thrown on top of that, because praising someone every day as a teacher, you should be doing that anyways. And as a mom.
As a mom.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Beautiful. Smile. Be happy. Spread happy.